Hi fam and welcome to heaven. I'm kidding. I'm in hell. No, I'm not. I'm at home. Where will I go? Anyway, I am starting a new vlog today and that vlog is basically me reading fun, lighthearted thriller books. Why? Because if you have been here before, you know that I like reading thriller books and then ranking them and like judging them based on like these 5 criteria that I have. And if you are new here, hi, hello, please subscribe. I am clearly heavenly. But yeah, essentially 5 criteria, that is plot, writing, characteristics like characterizations, pacing and suspense. These are the 5 things that I think are super important through a thriller crime mystery book, and I read these books, rank them based on this, and then I also rank them in general. Like I just like, okay, this is number 1 book, number 2 book, number 3 book, number 4 book, and yeah, that's basically what I do. But to make things more interesting, what I do is before I even read them, I just for fun just say like, what do I think might be the way I rank these books. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you what that is. I have usually gotten them wrong, though I think I'm starting to get like things a little right now, but let's see. I have chosen only 4 books today. Usually I choose 5 but we're doing 4 because the 5th book actually I already read. I read it and then it inspired me to do this, and that book is An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helen Turnst. I think she's a Swedish author. This book was translated and it's so good. Not like, oh my god, what a wonderfully written book, but it's basically about an old lady who decides to kill people who are annoying or who are assholes, and just like I just love that. Like that is so great. So I chose 4 books that I thought were like of that vibe, you know, just gave me like fun, light-hearted thrillers vibe, you know. So they are these, but I'm gonna rank them of what I think is going to be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and I will talk to you about these books when I start reading them and like tell you more about them, etc, etc. Cool. So book that I think is gonna be my number 1 is The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman, and this is because I have read the prequel. This is the sequel of The Thursday Murder Club, which I read last year and I really enjoyed. So just like I think I'm gonna like it. So yeah, I think that's going to be my number 1. My number 2 is going to be Finlay, Donovan is Killing It. I have heard some really good things about this, so yes. And then number 3 is Pride and Premeditation, which is like it's Pride and Prejudice, but made in like this thriller thing. I can't explain it to you. I'll explain it to you when I start reading the book, okay? And the 4th one is a book called Bullet Train, which is a Japanese book, if I'm not mistaken. I was looking for like fun thrillers and this came up and it sounded really good. And I decided to buy it, and then now I'm gonna read it and tell you what I think about it. But that is what this process is gonna be. I'm gonna start reading and then tell you what I think, and I'm gonna see you later from heaven. Jesus is calling me. Okay, bye. We are no longer in heaven. We sort of are. Heaven is there. It's right. Anyway, it has been very long since I have last recorded. It has been a while since I finished the first book, but I am here now to like reignite my this vlog, whatever this is, and yeah, I'm getting back to it. But I want to tell you that I finished 1 book, yeah, and I read Finlay, Donovan is Killing It. However, I don't think I told you what the book is about, so I'm gonna do that now. Essentially, it's about Finlay Donovan, who is a recently divorced mother. She is young and has 2 young children, and she is a writer. She is an author who's not doing so well though, and she writes romance books, but now she's kind of like going into writing like murder mysteries and thrillers, and she has this meeting with her like agent essentially, and in the conversation that she has with her agent in like a restaurant, this other lady hears their conversation, and from that conversation she misunderstood Finlay Donovan to be a like hitman, like a paid killer. So this lady basically offers her the job to kill her husband off and gives her like a lot of money, like $50,000 or something like that. And like I was just like, yo, if someone gave me $50,000, like I would probably do it. Like I hate people anyway. I have a lot of like murderous intentions. Don't quote me on that. I would do it. Like I would totally do it. I have read too many thrillers, watched too much of Criminal Minds. I think I would like get away with it, honestly. Like I maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's basically what the thing is, and it's her basically figuring out what to do, and she gets herself into like a lot of like sticky situations, but it's really funny and cute, and I'm here to talk to you about the book based on my criteria. Remember the criteria that I had? All right, so the first part of the criteria is plot, and for plot I'm going to give this a 7 because the idea itself is amazing. However, it didn't quite like after that certain thing, there were a lot of things that happened in the book which I can't tell you because of spoilers, but it just felt very like convenient, and like at some point in times I was like, but of course, like this had to happen, you know. So yeah, I mean it was still really enjoyable though, but like not like top grade stuff. So I would 7 I think is pretty decent. Next we have characters, and for this unfortunately I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5 because a lot of it, like 6.5 isn't bad, but it's not good, you know what I mean? Because the characters were fun and I liked them, but they did feel a little like caricature-y, and I just wish that we got to feel for them just maybe a little more. There were some characters that felt sort of one-dimensional as well, and some characters that like I did not see the logic in what they were doing at all. Like I did not think that people would be so on board with things like so quickly. It was slightly like, okay. So yeah, so 6.5 is where I stand with regards to that. And then with the writing, again, since it all kind of correlates to the plot and the characters, I'm going to give it a 7. I still liked it. I thought it was very readable, for sure, which then goes into the pacing. Pacing, I give it an 8, which is a solid for me. I feel like it was really well paced in terms of like you definitely want to know what was happening next, and yeah, but writing I give it a 7. Yeah, if that yeah, it makes sense. And the next is suspense. Suspense, again, I'm going to give it a 7 because there were a few things which I definitely did not see coming. However, there were quite a few things which felt very like I knew that this was gonna happen, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is it was kind of like middle of the road, but still like better, like good. You get what I mean. And in terms of fun, I'm going to give this, because this is normally I just have 5 things, right? 5 criteria, but because this is lightheartedness, we're trying to look at lighthearted thrillers, I thought we'll add fun into this, and for fun we have I'm gonna give this a 7.5 because I had fun while reading it, but I wasn't like, oh my god. Also, I feel like there were so many expectations because everyone was just like, oh my god, this book is so fun and entertaining. I just really thought that this was going to be like it for me. Like I really thought that was going to be like super entertaining, but it still was, but it wasn't like as it was hyped in my head. So maybe you would like it more now that you know to keep your expectations lower, which is basically like the rule for all books. Just keep your expectations low and like you will not be disappointed. It's the rule for life. But yeah, now I have so far in terms of rankings, well, there's only one book, so I can't really compare it to the other 3, but I will read them now and then talk to you about it. So Jesus, hi. I forgot to tell you that the next book that I'm going to be reading is Pride and Premeditation by Tirzah Price, and this is a book that I've been wanting to read for so long now. I think I got to know about it in like December of last year when everyone was making like their most anticipated books of 2021 list, and it is on my list, and I'm just really excited about it. I've finally gotten like an e-version of it, and I'm going to read it, and it's essentially, I mean, if like you didn't figure it out already, it's essentially the Pride and Prejudice, but they've made the characters to be like part of a mystery, like a murder mystery. So it's like the book, but adapted to be a murder mystery. Now, I've seen a lot of like Pride and Prejudice adaptations, but I've never seen one with a murder mystery. There was one with zombies, which maybe I should also read. I don't know. But I'm just like really, really intrigued by this one, and like all of the people have said just like really, really good things about it so far. So I'm really looking forward to it. So far, from what I remember about the plot, it was basically that Lizzie Bennet, her father is a lawyer, and there's some case that happens, and someone gets convicted, and she's not, she doesn't believe that the person who's convicted is the murderer, I think. So she goes about trying to figure out who the actual murderer is. And that's all I think that there is to the plot. But yeah, I'm just excited to see like what happens, what it's about, and yeah, I will keep you updated. Hello and welcome to 2 days later. I finished Pride and Premeditation yesterday, but as you can see, I don't really have much of a voice right now. I have a bit of a sore throat, a bit of a fever, not really, but just like I feel warm on the inside, if that makes sense to you, like flushed. But I really enjoyed Pride and Premeditation, and I enjoyed it so much, in fact, that I went and just bought myself a physical copy because it is one beautiful and I really liked it. So I'm going to give you more information on my thoughts on Pride and Premeditation later when I have a better voice, perhaps. But meanwhile, I started my second book, which is this one, which is Thursday Murder Club's sequel, The Man Who Died Twice. And I'm about, I mean, it's been a while since I spoke to you, so I'm about 200 pages in, and I'm really enjoying this as well. So I'm just really glad that I'm reading like fun, chilled books while I am indisposed and feeling sick. Jesus. Alright. So I'm gonna stop now. I've had to drink a lot of like tea to get to this space of like exercising my vocal cords. So I'm gonna give it a break and come back to you when I have more thoughts, which I do, but also more of a voice, you know. But yeah, that's that. Poe and I wanted to say hi. And also hi, I'm feeling way better. I am still like a little sick, so I am here in my like this sweatshirt thingy. This is my comfort sweatshirt. I wear this whenever I feel like really shitty. I used to wear this when we could go to offices. I would wear this as like a signal to like all my colleagues and co-workers that like just don't talk to me today because I'm feeling really shitty. Like it was, I don't know if you have that sort of like item of clothing which you wear when you're not feeling too great, but I am feeling much better than before, so that is great. I have like slept so much, it's awesome. But I am here to talk to you about the books that I read, and I have two books to report on. One is this gorgeous copy of Pride and Premeditation that I bought because I just loved this book so much that like I wanted the physical copy. Like, can you just it was expensive, but I was like, fuck it. And the second one is this one, which is The Man Who Died Twice. This was also great, but I am here to talk to you about them. So this one, I forget whether I gave you like an intro to this, but I'm pretty sure I did. Is essentially like Pride and Prejudice, but taken in like a thriller version, and I really enjoyed this one. So I'm going to talk to you about my thoughts on this based on the rankings and the criteria. So the first criteria is plot, and for plot I give this a 9 because I loved it. It followed the sort of plot of Pride and Prejudice, which is the classic, but it put like a sort of modern twist on it where like there were lawyers and there was like this murder mystery and there was all of these things happening. I was just like really impressed with how she could keep the idea of the classic alive in this, but also like put a murder mystery and like all of these different things happening and keep you sort of entertained. So definitely a 9 for sure. In terms of characters, I gave this an 8 because again I really loved just seeing these characters again and seeing like a different twist to them, but like them still remaining the way that they are, though I do feel like it wasn't like, I just love how much love she gave to Jane. Like, she is a sister who deserves more love, in my honest opinion. I just love the Bennet sisters, and I feel like Jane just deserves more love. Who's your favorite Bennet sisters? What I would like to know. But yeah, that I just like the characters a lot. I thought it was really nicely done, keeping them true to the classic, but also like giving them a fresh like look and changing things about and giving them new jobs, and it was just really good. I really liked it, but it wasn't like anything like wow, fascinating, amazing. So 8 I think is like perfect for that, right? Next is writing. Again, I really liked it. I thought that it was well written. The banter between, oh my god, the banter between Elizabeth and Darcy in this book was just so good, because it wasn't like the classic where it's like, oh, there's still like some proprietary and stuff like that. Like, this was just like all out. I loved it so much. It was so good. I loved it, but I would still give it like an 8 in total, because yeah, I just think that 8 seems good. It wasn't like wow, but it was good. It was really good. In terms of pacing, I'm gonna give this like a 8.5, I think. Yeah, like a 8.5 or a 9. I will make up my mind when I'm editing this video. I really liked it. I thought that it went by pretty fast. I was really intrigued to know what would happen. I think as people who have read Pride and Prejudice, you sort of know who the bad characters are, but you still kind of want to see how it'll play out in this like version of things. So yeah, I think that 8.5 sort of makes sense. The next criteria is suspense, and for suspense I'm gonna give this an 8 because, like, as I said, right, like, you've read the classic before, so you sort of know who the bad guys will be, but I really enjoyed the take that the author put into this. So yeah, even though you sort of know where it's going to go in terms of like just who these characters might be, for people who have not read Pride and Prejudice, it's going to be like full suspenseful and like, oh my god sort of stuff. But yeah, for people who have, I feel like it was just nice reading it and seeing the spin on it. But like, yeah, I would give it an 8. And then the last criteria for this vlog is fun, and for fun I would give this a 9. I really enjoyed myself. As I said, the banter was on point. I just really liked seeing how the author took the idea of Pride and Prejudice and make it into this like really fun thriller. I just really liked it. It was really good, and I think the total comes up to 51, I think, if my calculations are right. And yeah, I think it definitely deserves it. Also, like, this cover, like, if I could give like just points for the cover, this would win, like, Jesus, hands down. But yeah, so far though, I think this comes first, and then Finlay Donovan comes second. But we are here to talk about another book, and this book is this one, which is The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman, and this is the sequel to the Thursday Murder Club. And I don't think I introduced this book at all, in fact, so I'm gonna have to do that right now. But if you haven't read Thursday Murder Club, what are you doing? It is just such a cute book. Essentially, we are following four 70-year-olds who are at like a retirement house sort of thingy, like a retirement place, and they are like just really eccentric characters. Like there's this one character called Elizabeth who clearly like was part of the MI5 or like something like that, and then you have Joyce, who's like a grandma and just the most like absurdly wonderful character. Like you love her, but you also go like, oh my Jesus, just get to the goddamn point. You know, like how old people can get sometimes, where they'll be like, so like there's this part in this book, okay, just to give you an example of like Joyce. So there's a part in this book where they find this note, okay, which is like supposed to be like this really important, could be like change the whole plot of the book sort of thingy. And Joyce goes like, oh wow, that paper's really nice. I wonder like where this person got this paper from. Like it looks really expensive. I wonder if expensive paper is made out of expensive trees, or like how does that work? And I'm just like, Jesus, Joyce. But like it just is so funny. Like, you know what I mean, right? So that's just it's just really cute. It reminds me of like grandparents and just that sort of vibe, and it's really lovely. But yeah, this is the second book in that thing. So the first one is Thursday Murder Club, second one is this one, and we're still following the same group of people, and essentially what happens is that someone from Elizabeth's life, as like whatever, has come back into her life, and then there's like this stuff that happens. I don't want to spoil anything for you, just that's basically what it is. But let's go into this book and like talk to you about it based on my criteria. So in terms of the criteria, the first thing is plot. Now here's the thing, it was sort of like just a teeny bit disappointing, this one, because I felt like there was just a lot happening in this book. With the previous book, I think I sort of loved it more because we were getting to know the characters. In this one, I sort of knew the characters, so I was fine with that part. That gave me a lot of joy. But in terms of just the plot, I felt like there was a lot happening, and it sort of like went meh. I still really enjoyed it though, so I gave it a 7.5 in terms of plot. In terms of characterization, I will give this a 8.5 I think, because I really liked it. As I said, like that's the main point of this book, the characterizations, and the people. And while I do have to say, the reason why I'm giving this a 8.5 is because the main four characters are awesome, but I felt like the side characters were a little like not really worked upon as much, so like that's why it kind of dropped down just a teensy bit. But yeah, that's that. 8.5 I think is great. And then next is writing, and for writing I would give this again like a 8.5. This is not like, oh my god, genius writing or anything like that, but it's good. It's really fun to read, and it's very fast paced, which is coming to the next thing, which is pacing. And for that I gave this a 9 because it is super fast paced. You want to like consume all of this in a go, and I really did that. It's so like in terms of pacing, there's always something happening, always like something like interesting taking place. So yeah, I would give it a 9, a solid 9 for sure. Definitely that. And then I think the next one is suspense, and for suspense, unfortunately for this one, I think I'm gonna have to give this a 7 because I was figuring out a lot of the things that were happening before they happened, and that wasn't the case with the previous book, which was Thursday Murder Club. So I feel like maybe it's just getting slightly predictable, but overall, in terms of fun and enjoyment, I would give this a 9 because I really enjoyed it. Like, regardless of like me guessing what was happening, I still really liked it. So it was a really good time, and it just definitely helped me while I was feeling sicky. Okay, so yeah, that's where we are. And in terms of rankings now, I think this one came to like 49.5 or something. So right now this is we have Finlay Donovan. In the third place, we have The Man Who Died Twice in the second place, and then we have Pride and Premeditation in the first place. So wow, we're already we're already not going according to what I thought my original ranking was. It's all moved around. But anyway, yeah, that's that. Next book I'm gonna have to read is Bullet Train. And I don't know what that is, but I will find it and then I will tell you what it's about. And for now, I'm just gonna go and take some medicines, get into bed, get cozy, and I will see you in the next clip. I'm still feeling sick, but it's just the lingering sort of sick, and I feel like I'm getting over it now, so I'm very excited about that. But also, what I'm really excited about is this book that I'm reading. It's like so good, so good. But I have a lot of things to talk to you about with regards to this book, and I'm not even done with it, so let's just get started. So, first, let's start off with what this book is about, which is going to be a little like tough for me to explain. But essentially, we are following multiple people on this train going from Tokyo to Morioka, which is another city in Japan. And these people are all sort of shady because they are either like criminals in terms of like they are there because they have just finished like a kidnapping, or that like they have to go like steal something, or like there's someone who's seeking revenge, or there's like basically like this kid who's like a sociopath or a psychopath. And we're following all of these different people and all of their perspectives on this train. And I was just like, what is going on? So when I first started this book, right, I have to say that like I was in like the deep end of my sickness. So like I read 5 pages and I was like, I don't understand anything that's happening in this book. And then I made the best decision in the world, which is to look for the audiobook. And the audiobook is just amazing. So I love the narrator. He's done such an amazing job of like bringing these characters to life. I just love it. It's not like, oh my god, this is the best audiobook on the face of the earth, like you know, like with Daisy Jones and the Sixth, with like the whole like workings of it, if you get what I mean. But it's just so good in terms of like bringing this book to life. So I absolutely adore it. I was a little like confused because I was like, is this book like going to be light-hearted, like because this is for like a light-hearted like thing, but it totally is, because all the characters are just so like absurd, or like have their own like sort of like weird thing going on. They're like really funny in like this wry sort of way, which is totally my sense of humor. And like yeah, I just really like it. For example, we have this one guy who just has the worst luck. And it's just, I just love the way like they converse with each other, or like just like have these really funny thoughts. There's this one assassin who's obsessed with like Thomas, like the trains, you know, like the trains for children. It's really weird. I'm just like, oh, what is going on? So it's yeah, I totally see it. And I'm really enjoying it. I would say like 175-ish pages in. And I'm really enjoying it. So I'm really happy with this selection of mine. I'm so smart. And also I was just thinking like, how happy am I that like all of the books that I've chosen during this time are lighthearted and nice, and like thrillers are like my comfort genre. So I'm just like so happy and comfy and like reading these books while I'm sick. It's just, I love it. I'm so happy. Anyway, there's that, but I also want to discuss this thing. Okay, so this book is going to be made into a movie, okay, which stars Brad Pitt as like that guy which I told you has the unlucky assassin, and I'm just like I don't imagine these people as, like, when I looked at the cast, I was like, I don't imagine these people as those people. You know what I'm like I'm very confused by, like, the casting, but, like, I know that it's gonna be an amazing movie. So yeah, that's I think it's coming in 2022, so that's another thing to be excited about. But for now, I'm gonna go continue reading this book, and let you know my final thoughts soon. We are finally almost at the end. I know I have finished 4 books and I've gone through quite a lot during these past few weeks, like fallen sick. I lost some data in between on, like, my camera. That was not fun at all. But you didn't know because I was going through all of this on, like, the back end. And now you just see, like, I don't know, like 20-30 minutes of, like, my pretty face talking about books. But anyway, let's get into it. I read 4 books, but I have yet to talk to you about my 4th one, which was this, Bullet Train. And yo, let me tell you this. Let me be the first to tell you this, if not the second or third or fourth or fifth, I don't know. But this book is a banger. Like, it is mad good. That movie is going to be nuts. That movie is genuinely going to be batshit crazy. And of course, a lot of the things that, like, I pictured in my head while I was reading this book, because it honestly was like I could imagine everything, and that's like a good, like, sign of writing, that you can imagine everything going on in your head. And like yeah, so what I was saying is that I definitely, it's not going to be the way I imagined it, because all these characters over here are Japanese, whereas in the movie it's going to be like Brad Pitt and Sandra Bullock and Joey King and, like, I don't know, other people I don't remember now. But yeah, it's going to be definitely very, very different than, like, how I imagined it. But if they follow the script of this book, oh my god, it's gonna be mad. Trust me. So yeah, I'm just really, really excited that I got to read this book. And I'm now gonna tell you what my thoughts are based on the criteria. Do I even need to do that? But yes, I probably should. So in terms of plot, that's the first thing. I loved it. Okay, it's like this was one of the most twisty things where, like, everything was just, like, happening, and there were so many new things happening. Like, I don't know if you can see, but, like, the blue stuff, the dark blue stuff, is like where, like, there were plot twists or, like, something really fucked up happened. So yeah, so plot wise, I'm gonna give this, like, a 9. Like, I would probably give it a 10 on 10, honestly, but, like, I feel like a 9 is, like, I'm being nice. I'm giving it a 9. Okay, like, I'm being, I don't know, what's it called, moderate, and giving it a 9. Like, 9 at the minimum is basically what I'm trying to say. The next thing is characterizations, and for that as well, I think I'm gonna give it a 9, because while we were in a lot of people's, like, heads, what was great was that we were in their heads, so we were seeing what, like, they were thinking, what their thought process was, where they came from, and we got to know about this not only through, like, oh, them going back in, like, I don't know, like, history, like just doing rewinds or whatever, but also just them having, like, random conversations and telling them about how they were kidnapped when they were 8, or, like, some weird shit, you know. It's just interesting, and we got to know the characters quite a bit, and, like, I felt like you would know how the character would react by the end of it. Like, you would just kind of know what would happen, and I feel like that was a really good sign. The next thing is writing, and again, for writing, I think we'll just, again, give it a 9. I really, really liked it. I thought that it did an exceptional job in terms of just, like, the atmosphere and just building that, like, tension and all of that sort of stuff. So again, just this is a great book. In terms of pacing, again, I'm gonna give it a 9, because again, it was like, okay, here's the thing, right? It's quite a chunky book. It's about 230 pages. But, like, I read it in, I would say, like, maybe 2 to 3 days max. 2 days, because, like, it's just so, like, you need to know what happens, but, like, also, like, I didn't want to rush it. Like, I was just like, you know what, like, let's just take it as it goes. Let's see what happens. But yeah, it was, like, as I said, with so many things happening, one after the other, it was absolutely mad, and I really loved it. So pacing wise also, I'm gonna give this a 9. what is next? Next is suspense, and in terms of suspense, I'm honestly gonna have to give this like a 10 or a 9.5, a 10. I think it's gonna have to be a 10 because like there were so many things, as I said, that I did not see coming in this book. Like, holy shit. It was quite ridiculous. And like definitely did not see a lot of what's happening come to fruition. So I'm gonna have to give it to like 9.5 maybe, because maybe some things I kind of figured out, but like it was just batshit mad. If I've not said that already. And then the last one is fun, and for fun I'm gonna have to give this a 9.5 maybe, I don't know, 9. I'm gonna give this a 9 because the end was a little like meh, like not but it was like and then it like little bit stagnated. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was still like up here, so that's great. I don't know if I'm making sense to you, but I hope you understand what I mean. But yeah, I really like this book. If I have told you to read Confessions by Kanya Minato, then holy shit, please read this as well, because this is batshit crazy, mad, amazing, super cool, like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, those were the books that I read. I read 4 books. Let's get into rankings. At number 4, I'm gonna have to put Finlay. Donovan is killing it. I liked the book. I thought it was really cute. I still like give it like a 4-star. But it didn't hit my expectations. At number 3, I'm gonna have to put like, this is really weird, but at number 3 is gonna be The Man Who Died Twice. But like I really loved this book as well. So like what? But this is number 3. Number 2 is Pride and Premeditation, because like I really love this. I love the whimsy. I loved all of the characters, and being able to see these characters in like a murder mystery, and just like how the author panned that out. I thought it was really well done. And of course my number 1, which I thought was going to be my number 4, like so clearly like I still haven't figured out rankings and like predicting the appropriate ranking, is Bullet Train. So yeah, if you look at what I had predicted versus what my actual ranking is, like over here, clearly I've gotten it so wrong yet again. But well, we are at the end. I think in total I would definitely still like recommend all of them. They are just really fun, and like right now I know that we need some light-hearted fun stuff in our lives. So if that's what you want, and you like to read thriller mysteries, then any of these 4 will work out for you, I think. But yeah, that's all for now. I thank you so much for watching. If you have reached till here, comment with like the murder weapon of your choice. That would be super fun. If you had to kill someone, what murder weapon would you use? Just like if you can't put an emoji, just tell me. That would be fun as well. And tell me if you're going to read any of these books and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, I will see you in my next video. By the way, since you are a real one and you have reached till the end, I will tell you that I'm going to be doing another one of these videos very soon, which is going to be on Dark Academia. So I am very excited about that one, and I can't wait to start filming for it. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to like start filming immediately. But yeah, that's it. Alright, I will see you in my next video. Bye.